3, 2, 1. Guys, you're still drinking. Guys, come on, put it down. It's time for product evaluation. This is product evaluation at Quirky for number 106 and number 107. One was a brief-based project. One was an anything and everything. For those of you who are new to Quirky product evaluation, this is how it works. These are the top ideas as presented to us by the community. And what we are doing is we are bringing it through design, market, and viability analysis that looks at everything from design. Does it have wow factor? Does it have the potential to be distinct from the marketplace? Is it on brand for us? Yeah. Is this going to be a gorgeous item?
What he said. Yeah.
And then we look at market. We look at how big is the market? Does it have the potential to wow? No, that was you. How big is the market? How big is the market? What can it sell for? What do our retail partners think, etc. And then viability, which looks at price, margin, feasibility, manufacturing, and intellectual property. So without further ado, we are going to investigate the top 6 ideas in product evaluation number 106, which was our anything and everything project. And the first idea came from Mr. Andre Detler, and it was an all-purpose trash bag clip.
Yeah.
So basically, this is a little clip that hangs on your drawer, and we wound up saying that this is sort of like Porto Trash Mini.
Yeah.
It's not counter height, sort of droops down a little bit lower.
Yeah, with Porto Trash connected to horizontal surfaces, it connects to vertical.
Listen, this is a very nice solution. He did a really good job prototyping, showing how it works, showing why it's great, and showing how it's helpful.
Yeah.
We put it through DM&V. First, we looked at the community comments, relatively positive. People were talking about other uses for it, which we found really interesting. When we did the comp shop, we came up with something, our own product. This is our Porto Trash for $20. Simple Human makes something that goes under the counter for around $42. There's something really simple from Link for $10. We put it through DM&V design. You were pretty excited about it. Like, I know you wanted to be able to work on something more, but we didn't necessarily steer away from it.
We liked it.
Yeah, we liked it. But you gave it an average score.
We gave it an average score.
Because it's just a doodad, right?
It's a thing that helps you.
Exactly. Market gave it a 4 score. You know, it's a really cheap item. We would have to do like a $2, $3, $5 price point at the max. The idea of selling it in packs got brought up, but it's notoriously really hard to retail those type of items. Sorry, I have to shut off my cell phone because I'm rude. And anyway, so that's basically how it ended up. We then went into viability. Viability said this is easy. The one thing that got dinged by 3 points down from 10 to 7 was just because of it's pretty easy to rip off. It would be pretty easy to sort of make this thing.
If we did well, people would knock it off.
You can't really protect something like this. So that was that. The next idea came from Michael Taylor. Michael Taylor had find-it pins, these little things. You put it on jackets, you put it on keys, you put it on wallets, you put it on anything. You hit the button, tells you where your shit is.
Yeah.
Very simple. You know, we looked at the comp shop. Ideas came in from the community that they're pretty valid, but we looked at the comp shop. Here's one, here's another, here's another. This being the closest to what I think Michael's idea was. This from Brookstone. We put it through DM&V design. What did you think? Well, I checked myself to make sure it's not urgent.
Solves problem of finding stuff. You always have to make sure you have the alert device near you. It would require batteries. You require many of these things all over the house, all over your kids' stuff. I don't know, slightly off-brand as well. A little bit too kind of Sky Morley for us, I think. In design's opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't like anything that's Sky Molly, really. Chad loved that it was Sky Molly. He was like, oh, if you say it's okay. Oh wait, that was doing your voice. That was your voice. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, Viability gave it a 6. We could probably do it. Some obviously electrical issues, etc. The next idea came from Neil Anderson. This was a one-handed shovel, sort of a bionic arm shovel-y thing. This was basically, sometimes it's hard to handle other things in the yard when both of your hands are on the shovel. So if you need to open up a bag or blah, 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 this was the idea. Sorry, I know you guys don't like when I said blah, blah, blah. We're just trying to get through this video quickly. We're not at all overlooking this guy's idea.
It's kind of rude.
I'm just, shut up, man. You're just saying what they say. We're just trying to get through it efficiently. This was a great idea. It was interesting. We did see a video of it in action. which led us to be somewhat skeptical about the ergonomics.
It looked uncomfortable.
It looked
like he was holding a lot of weight on one side of his body and ergonomically.
Bending down, yeah, it just felt a little weird. That didn't really ding the score too much, but community comments, you know, that we need straps. It's been tested for muscle or bone or damage. Just worried about the usability of it in general. Yeah. So we looked at shovels out there, the Virgo. This was an interesting thing to compare it to. This was a big scoop from Sutton's, Jumbo Outdoor Dustpan, they call it. You look really short.
Hold on, we're getting messages.
They held up a note card that says, Ben, you look really...
a darker marker.
Move the laptop to your right, it's blocking Ben.
And then Ben, bump up your stool because you look really short. Thank you, I did that. Always looking out for me.
Professional.
Very professional. And the last idea came from this guy, Sackmaster, which is a horrible name for a product. Never name a product Sackmaster. But again, something very similar.
The late night one-handed shoveler device.
The late night, shut up. DM&V on this, design 4.
Yeah, we gave it a 4. It solves a niche problem. His video actually shows how it doesn't work well. It looked extremely uncomfortable. A lot of other tools on the market do the job easier.
Market 4, this is a tough sell. Honestly, it's just a tough sell. You're sort of having to retrain people how to work in their yard.
Yeah.
We just weren't sure about it. Viability, we can make it. Worry about shipping weights and dimensions and sort of how it would be constructed. They gave it a 5. The next idea came from Barbara Miles, the inventor of the unhampered product, which we love and is coming to market very soon.
Very cool.
She wanted to create a footrest very simply for underneath her desk. She had lots of ideas on how it could fold and curve and sort of bounce for people that are fidgety. I'm a little bit fidgety. Anyway, community comments, there were plenty. Consider adding another flat surface, etc. There was stuff out there from the really high expensive side, $150, to the really low end side, Rubbermaid for about $40. One of the things Barbara said, she wanted something very affordable. And that, we were a little bit worried about how we can make this really cheaply while still providing all sorts of different functions. We were worried about, the underneaths of our desk are really crowded already. Do we really want to create more stuff that goes under there? Especially when we've run briefs just to organize underneath your desk. So D3.
Yeah, for all those reasons.
Market. Someone said very simply, how often do you hear someone say, oh, I'm going to go buy a footrest? Yeah. Oh, I need to go to the store and buy a footrest. No, I know a lot of our products would never pass that test, but it did sort of resonate with us as sort of how many people are actually going to go actively seek this. Viability gave it a 5. We could make it. Worried about sort of the size of it, shipping, etc. The next idea was from Jared Joyce, a digital contact lens case. The way Jared presented this was, sorry?
No, it was just hand motion.
The way Jared presented this was basically that people wear their contacts for too long and he wanted his contact case lens to remind you that you're wearing your contacts for too long. He said he wanted contact lens companies to give this away, and that immediately scares us a little bit because that's not what we do. We don't do sort of giveaways. We do sort of retailable items. So how much would someone actually pay for this as a premium over something that usually comes with the contact lens solution or they get for free from their optometrist, etc. So we did see stuff out there.
The lens
This
alert.
Is one out there. Yeah. That's the lens alert. Very similar. For $15. Here's another thing. So we put it through DM&V. Design gave it a 4.
Yeah, I mean, it does to some extent solve a problem, but a lot of people trending towards a 1-a-day use contact lens. And yeah, I mean, it's really like a kind of giveaway item. Cool.
Market gave it a 5, which they changed their score when they were midstream talking about how it would work because they realized that, oh, this is a giveaway, we can't really retail this thing too well. There's already someone retailing it, etc. And Viability gave it a 6. We can make it simple electronic, simple item, etc. But just some issues there, and there wasn't patent concerns because Jared already has one. The next idea came from a guy named Fat Boy.
Yeah.
We don't know his real name.
No.
This is a hard-boiled egg caddy.
And this is our wild card.
And because it didn't have any visuals or any sort of anything there, it didn't get many votes because it wasn't visually stimulating. That's usually what drives votes, along with social graphics, etc. But it was an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh, this is a wild card, by the way.
Okay, so Fatboy wanted to solve this problem of like transporting the hard-boiled eggs from the pot to the sink while carrying the boiling water. And I think that's a starting point to really expand on and do some kind of product that is really interesting, that explores all the ways that you can make cooking eggs easier. And we're not just talking about cooking one egg. We're talking about like those people who are really into like cooking like more than one egg at a time.
Exactly.
And there's a number of companies on the market doing great
This
job.
thing right here, the Poach Pods, is for poached eggs, not hard-boiled eggs, is a really great seller at retail.
Yeah.
Amazing. These are just a few other items that are in the market to help cooking specific items.
Yeah.
DM&V, design you gave it a 4.
We gave it a 4 because, again, I know you don't like me saying this, but there wasn't any visuals presented.
Not their job.
I would argue that there was the kernel of a problem, and we're going to expand on that with the community.
Okay. Market gave it a 7. They thought things that are, one would think that markets that are this small and niche represent limited opportunities, but actually it's an enthusiast community. People that eat eggs and like do it every day. We have a few people in the office like, oh, I eat 3 eggs a day. Blah, blah, blah. Those are the people that buy stuff and pay real dollars for this.
And I think the international market is a lot bigger.
And Viability gave it a 6. We can absolutely make something simple, molded parts, metals, etc.
Yeah.
So, it had a pre-staff total of a 21, which was significantly less than all the other stuff out there. Throughout the discussion, we wound up on 2 sides of the spectrum. We had the community top-rated idea, which was our trash bag holder, and then we had the wild card, which didn't get much community support because it wasn't presented all that well,
right.
Which had a lot less of a number going into staff eval. When it came down to it, we wound up going with the hard-boiled Egg Caddy for a few reasons, so congratulations, Fatboy, you are now a quirky inventor. Here's why we went with the hard-boiled egg thing. Represented a larger opportunity to really create something innovative. We wanted to really step away from the sort of $2 or $3 item thing. Yeah. We actually really love the Porto Trash Mini, as we were calling it. The Gorilla Hook thing. And we might consider doing it as a line extension for Porto Trash in the future. But what we really came out of this eval saying is that the other product, the poached egg thing, the hard-boiled egg thing, really was super interesting, and retail partners really liked it.
They loved it.
We really liked it as a design problem. We think there's a lot of stuff for the community to work on here.
Definitely.
We think it could drive a higher price point and be something that's a little bit more aspirational.
Yes.
So congratulations, Mr. Fatboy. You are now a quirky inventor. Nice. All right, next eval was number 107, and this was a brief-based project. This was a brief called Sinkware, and it garnered a lot of submissions. And we are going to go through the top 5 that we had the community present to us, as well as a wild card. So, without further ado, our top idea came from Tim Hayes, beautifully presented.
Yes.
Did a really good job designing, rendering, making this thing look gorgeous. It was a drying rack that collected the water that then you spilled water through on.
Yeah.
Community was pretty supportive. They loved the presentation, loved the way he went about this experiment. We had some comp shops out there, everything from the Better Housewares to the Podler to the Simple Humans to the Ginsons, and we put it through DM&V. Design gave it a 5.
We gave it a 5. It's not particularly unique as presented, but we would give it an interesting twist and explore it with the community. Give it a 5.
And it was questionable whether or not we actually would want water to be going in a reservoir, and then you said, why would you want to put your thing that has a pool of cess?
Why would you want a pool of cess?
A pool of cess.
In your clean drying rack.
Anyway, so what we basically said was, isn't there a better way, which is sort of using gravity, an efficient use of gravity, which is out there, and there are concerns with that, but anyway, there was...
But we know there's something there that we can do to make it interesting.
Exactly. Pre-staff total of a 50. When market gave it a 6, it is a big market. A lot of people have sinks, and Viability gave it a 5. We know we can make it, although there was some concern around size and patentability, etc. The next thing was a rotating sink head spray attachment. I was immediately drawn to this idea because it was definitely the riskiest, most ambitious, most use of innovative thoughts of all the ideas that were presented this week.
Engineering, manipulation of water.
It was super complicated, and I love that stuff. Because it really represents an opportunity to do something distinct and different.
To show like what we can actually achieve.
Yeah, and it's, you know, if we were able to achieve it, it's that much more of a win, you know? So anyway, we went on to look at things that are out there. Community would offer the sprayer with the product, you know, double chamber handle. There were a lot of good thoughts within the community. Black & Decker makes a powered scrubber,
like a handheld
but it's a handheld one, and it just it uses batteries, etc. I don't know why we comped a massager to it, but we did. And this is another one, a spray scrubber that you put on your sprayer, but it's not motorized. It's just simply like a brush. So that was the comp shot. We put it through DM&V. Design gave it a 4.
We gave it a 4. We did question the real usefulness of this, of having enough torque within a powered device.
And you were worried about like the stiff handle, right, etc.
No, I think we were worried more about like achieving enough torque to actually make it more useful than just using your own elbow grease or using your own power.
Right. Marty gave it a 6. If we could do it, it's actually something interesting and new and unique, etc. And then Viability gave it a 4 because of exactly what I said. It's really complicated, hard. What we would want to achieve is we would love it to be powered by the force of water, so we can narrow it down into a field and have that spin the head.
I would question the torque, but
I would too, but electrics, batteries, etc. We don't want people to have to buy new sprayers.
Yeah.
There was concerns around, you know, aren't people getting their sprayers integrated into the necks of their faucets? So there was a lot of concerns there, which left it to a pre-staff total of 48. The next idea was from Andrzej Zabinski, which was a drying rack, but it's for sort of dirty dishes.
This is to organize your dirty dishes.
Organize the dirty sides of your sink. Community had some good thoughts initially, and then it turned a little bit. There's stuff out there. I mean, for clean, right? So Simple Human is a gorgeous one. Interdesign.
Let's be clear. No one's solving this issue on the market.
No one's solving this issue. You're right, and that is new, and that's why Andre submitted it.
Yeah.
But is it something that should be solved?
Right.
Is the question. Design gave it a 5. Why?
We gave it a 5. We didn't like that you're basically adding another stage to your cleaning process. You're adding another piece of equipment. I don't think people would want to use this for their clean stuff after it's had the dirty stuff on. If you do, you got to clean it anyway. So we give it a 5.
Okay, Viability gave it a 7. We could totally do it. Easy to make. Again, it was not patentable, public domain, etc. And then Market gave it a 4. Are we really going to, sell something to someone to put their dirty stuff in? There's already so much stuff around the kitchen. Yeah. On top of your drawer, this is what you said in Eval,
you've got like a drying rack and a dirty rack. I mean.
So pre-staff total of a 45 on Andre's idea. The next idea was kind of funny when we first read it. Scented Stinkadink Dink strainer from Josh Wright. This is basically a basket that sits in your faucet. Helps your sink hole that allows water to go through but nothing else. Yeah. He wanted to add some extra functions, one of which, his first idea for extra functions was scented pieces that integrate into this beautiful hole drain protector strainer thing. Great community comments, nice renderings, sort of in favor of a disinfectant versus another thing. Yeah. Some interesting stuff there. There is some sort of urinal cake style stuff on the market, whether it be Sink Daisy or Scented Sink or Plink or whatever it might be, but nothing that really integrates with or becomes the strainer. Design gave it a 3, really, really hard on it.
We were hard on this. Very similar cheap and disposable products on the market, kind of potentially off-brand. I don't like the idea of our Quirky logo in a dirty sink.
That's probably the worst thing I've ever heard you say.
I just tagged that in there.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with anything. You agree? Do you retract the statement?
Yes. I'm not giving you a high five for that.
Oh. You don't have to retract it.
No, I retract, but no high five.
Okay, fine. Deal. Next one was Market. Market gave it a 3, but they actually increased this to a 5, I think, through the eval process. Yeah. 5 or 6, I forget what they had it at. It's on the site, obviously. There's something here. The market for the sink strainer things is actually quite large.
everyone has a sink, right?
And they like the repeat purchase style of it and the opportunity to create multiple SKUs. Viability gave it a 5. We can do it. We're not in the scent business, so we need to do a little bit of a sourcing operation there. There are some patents out there relating to this that we have to sort of navigate that landscape on. We have to be really careful there if we were to move forward. Navigate the landscape. Next idea was from Michael L. This was a dish soap storage holder. Really great presentation, nice renderings.
Yeah. This
was hold your thing upside down, get everything to drip through, and then what you have is the ability to hold your sponge, have the thing sit on top, have it sit on the bottom, universal size, efficient use of counter space. He had many key features and reasons why this was a great item.
One lump of material that does a bunch of different stuff.
And we initially really liked it. We put it through the paces here. Community, was relatively positive. There's stuff out there from Chefin. This is more of an umber. This is an integrated soap dispenser with a sponge thing.
These are way more complicated than his solution.
Yeah, he wanted to go simple. He wanted to go MoMA style, right? MoMA style.
Minimal, quiet innovation.
Guys, what did you give it for design score? It looks like a Cinco.
We gave it a 5. Simple idea, solves the problem. Not really mainstream wow factor. More of a design piece.
Market gave it a 3 because of that. Because of that exact thing. More of a design piece, not necessarily a mainstream item. Viability gave a 7. Very easy to do. Giving it a pre-staff total of a 40. Moving on to the knife magnet from Adam Hill. This was basically put it on the side of your sink.
Yep.
Okay. When the knives are dirty, stick them to the side so you don't cut yourself in that bath of stuff. Keep the knives away from people's hands.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good problem to be solving. It seems pretty fair.
Yeah.
So we put it through the paces here. Community said, what did the community say? Safety angle for washing it, said Peter Provart. He has one of these at home, but for the back of the sink, said Dexter. So on.
Peter brings up a good point. Like, as you're moving your hand around, would you risk cutting yourself on those knives hung on the side?
Right. I mean, does it really solve the problem, or does it just move the problem somewhere else?
Right. Exactly.
Viability. I'm sorry. Comp shop wise, there's stuff out there, but not for the sink.
Yep.
This is stuff for behind and the backsplash, etc. DM and V design 5.
Again, a 5.
Middle of the road.
It feels like it solves the problem. I don't know if it would be that useful for everyone. If people are doing a lot of what English people would call washing up, then sure, you have knives at the bottom of a deep amount of water. But in general, why not just leave your knives on the side? Market, new way to use knife magnets. They see it as a way of using something existing in a different way. Good on TV, so they give it a 7. Viability, give it a 6. Relatively easy to make. The comp shop shows a range of different prices. And
any accessory that
they wouldn't be able to patent this, and it's not covered by the patents.
Get the smart cover in every color.
35. Moving
every
forward,
color, every color.
Our wild card, the wine glass drying rack. This is from Peter Provart in England.
Thank you.
The problem: wine glasses break from being knocked over when drying in a dish rack. Solution: a fold-away wine glass.
I'm sorry, I was on the phone.
I heard you on the phone.
I know, and I want to apologize, but I'll tell you guys why I was on the phone. I was on the phone. We have 3 Quirky employees at the Apple Store online right now, getting the iPad so that we can effectively do the brief next week and design maybe a cloak too, etc. So that was an important call for you guys in the community. So I apologize for the rudeness during the eval video, but important for the design phases to progress on all this iPad shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, you were talking about the wine glass dryer.
Yeah,
so the wine glass dryer from Peter Provart. It hangs, it dries,
Hangs and dries.
Hangs and dries, goes over your sink. There is some stuff out there in the marketplace. This one most specifically from Wine Enthusiast.
Yeah.
This is meant to go over the sink.
Yeah, and it can hold wine glasses and a decanter, which is interesting.
Yep. All of that is sort of very similar to Peter's idea.
Yeah.
So we put it through DMV.
Design, we gave it a 5.
Did you go through this already?
No.
Oh, okay, good. I don't know where I left off,
Yeah, it solves the problem of drying very fragile items. We'd look at ways of not actually having this over the sink. I think there's some issues with that in terms of like knocking fragile items over a greater height into the sink. We would look at adding a drip tray, having it by the side of the sink, and perhaps integrating different ways of helping you actually clean the glasses.
Awesome. Market gave it a 6. pretty big market, especially, again, same thing, enthusiast community.
Yeah.
Really sort of interesting to be able to sell something to a group of people that do one thing and are really obsessed with it.
Yes.
They're willing to pay for good premium stuff. Viability gave it a 6. This is sort of our wheelhouse. This was a safe bet, viability-wise.
Yep.
And depending on how we would accomplish it, we were told that there's some opportunity to protect it, which was
Always
great.
Good.
Pre-staff total of a 28. This was an interesting final vote, big debate. We narrowed it down to 4. In the top 4, let's see if we can remember. In the top 4, there was the first thing was the scrubber, the powered scrubber, right? And then after that, it was the sink, stink, ding, ding. And then after that, it was the Michael L. dish soap organizer. And then it was Peter's wine glass opener thing, which was the wild card.
Yeah.
Now here's what went down. We started to do process of elimination. First, we killed the sink thing because no one thought that it could be done, and it was an aggressive project.
When you say the sink thing, given that it's a sink design brief, you mean
the scrubber, the powered scrubber?
Yeah.
My bad. Long day.
It's something that would have to be installed as well.
Yeah,
most likely the way we
would want to accomplish it.
Yeah.
So first we killed that because it was, although I liked it because it had the potential to be aggressive and distinctive and innovative, there was just sort of consensus around it just not being the right choice right now. The next thing we killed was the dish soap organizer.
Yeah.
Because of the market size, right? So we felt like it was a really high design item, but our retailers didn't really like it because it wasn't mass.
Yeah.
It didn't have that mass appeal. We liked it though, as designers, we liked it.
Yeah.
So we were left with 2. We were left with Peter Provart's wine glass holder, and we were left with Josh Wright's sink and madink dink sink smeller strainer.
So what won?
So what won? Well, congratulations to Josh Wright with the stink badink dink strainer mishmink schmink.
Yeah.
We went with that because we felt like there was more room for innovative explorations here. Looking at the bottom of the sink, figuring out, how can we make these strainers actually provide more use than just straining? How can we create something that's reusable? How can we create something that's beautiful, but also did more and made your sinking, your washing up.
And let's face it, all of the ones on the market, whether they look good or bad, they don't function that well.
Yeah, and there's a few out there. There's been a few innovations over the past few years, but we really are excited about what this represents.
Yeah.
There's some innovations in material that can be helpful in this too. Everything from scented silicones to embedded fragrances, etc. We really think that this is interesting. We're excited for Josh. Yeah. And we're excited for Fat Boy, our other inventor this week. So that is it, guys. That is Quirky product evaluation number 10. Do you want a backslash key?
Yeah,
I happened to find a backslash key.
Okay.
And a dash. I'll be dash. You be backslash.
I'll be backslash.
So without further ado, that is our week this week. We appreciate all of your input, your help, your circumstances, your life, your comments, your beauty, your love,
and your hate,
your tangibleness. And one other note on the way out, and this is serious. Our hearts go out to all the people in Japan that were affected by the stuff last night, and we really hope that that the Quirky community helps in whatever way we can. We did launch a brief where all the proceeds and profits and all that are going to go to the victims. But please help in your own little way and do whatever you can. We have good friends in Japan. One of our biggest distributors of Quirky products is in Japan. Luckily, he's safe, and so is his team. His team was stuck in their office for hours, I think, overnight because there was no way to get out. Right. So this is a serious deal, guys, and let's help whatever way we can. But back to the fun stuff. That was the week this week at Quirky, and we really appreciate everything that you're doing. So let's do that, and that is Quirky product evaluation. Peace.